Look, I don't know everything. I'm not a master of anything. I'm definitely not a guru. Can't really stand that word. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I try to learn from it. I try to do better. And I work on self-improvement nearly every day. But, I have ADD. That's not an excuse. It's an explanation for why I forget stuff. Why time seems to slip away. And I'm great with working under pressure with deadlines, but I'm not great at keeping an eye on the time. And I misunderstand how much time it'll take me to do something. So I'm not great at quoting how much time it's going to take for something, because when I get into something, I get hyper-focused and I want to get it all done. But you know what? It's not about me. It's about leadership. And that's what I'm going to talk about on today's episode of the Deep Gripping Reality Podcast. Now, I'm asking you to tune in to a guy who started this episode by saying, I suck. This ought to be interesting. Stay tuned. It's about to get deep.
You're listening to the Deep Gripping Reality Podcast, the show that gives you leadership lessons and insights from the cutting edge of digital marketing. Hosted by Stephen J. Adelman. It's about to get deep.
Do you pride yourself in being humble? Are you one of the most agreeable people on the planet, but you have an opinion and others are going to hear it? Are you one of those people that has a massive ego, but you'd never admit it? And maybe you even think it's a strength that you have such a strong ego. And maybe it is. I used to be like that too. I used to be very arrogant, very cocky, very egotistical, and I justified the cockiness by saying, to quote Kid Rock, they say I'm cocky, and I say, what? It ain't bragging, mother beeper, if you back it up. And I backed it up, especially when it came to sales. I was a sales killer. I think they used to call me Mr. 500 because I got 500 sales in I think it was 2 months, and that was more than anybody had gotten in a year for a certain program. It was like a credit protection thing for credit cards. I was very arrogant about it. And it was because other people were fluffing my ego, and I didn't know how to be humble. I didn't know how to accept compliments. I just kind of rolled with that's right. And it was off-putting. I thought it was charismatic at the time, but it wasn't. It was there was no humility in my life. And it wasn't until I took a good hard look at myself and realized where I suck and what I suck at that I got to understand what I could do to be better. And I've always been one of those people that people could listen to and could captivate a room. And I think part of that is because one thing I am very good at is listening to understand. So those who have been in meetings with me will say that I'm not very good at listening. In fact, somebody joked the other day that I'm incapable of not speaking at a meeting and not giving my ideas. I burst with ideas. I get so excited, especially anything marketing. I freaking love marketing stuff. So anything marketing or anything that can help people expand their brand or reach their audience, I have no mute button, it feels like, But in this particular call, it was a very, very large client. And it was time to listen. It was time to hear how they felt like we could help them. And there came a point where they asked us where we thought our role was. And I kept myself quiet. And my boss sent me a side message, and he said, you can speak, you can say something. And so, because he knew I'd be able to jump in and offer my 2 cents. And I had another client the other day who said that they just absolutely love working with me. Personally. And this isn't bragging, by the way. I'll explain why in just a second. They said they absolutely love working with me because I take the time to really understand what their goals are and what they're trying to accomplish and what they lack. And then not only do I tell them how to get it, I show them how to get it, and I show them why it's important. And I take the time to make sure that they understand So it's not just about hearing what other people needs, it's about delivering it and explaining it and teaching them. It's a mentality of giving. So I think that that's really what it comes down to. That's the secret. So I started the podcast today saying that I'm not a guru, that I'm not a master. I may be in the MBA program, but I'm not a master of anything. And even when I get my MBA, you're supposed to be the master of business administration. I won't feel like I'm a master because here's the thing. I'm never done learning. I'm never done growing. I learn something new every day. It's literally my mantra to never stop learning stuff. I mean, I've probably forgotten more about marketing than I ever thought I would even know. But it's because I'm intrigued by it all. And I want to find the ways to best service my customers. I want to be prepared. If my customers come to me and say, how do you do this? Or what do you think about that? I want to be able to answer that. You know, great example. I had another customer who came to me and said, listen, I'm working on Facebook ads. I want to know about how the pixel on the website helps me create a custom audience for remarketing, and also how to do lookalike audiences with that. And it'd been a while since I'd brushed up on it, and I knew Facebook had made some changes, so I went and I studied the hell out of it, and I spent a good 2 hours refreshing myself on that, because if I'm going to help people, I need to know that I'm not going to fall flat. I want them to be able to trust me. And so part of that is being able to eat humble pie. People absolutely love it when you can admit that you're flawed. Nobody likes somebody who's cocky and knows everything. Let other people sing your praises. Don't ever brag about who you are or what you do. And I know that's completely ironic and I sound like a hypocrite because I just spent time doing that. But I'd like to think that that was me trying to give you a story so you can understand where I'm coming from. Relatable. But people want to be listened to. They want to be heard. They want to know that what they're saying matters. And even if you think you know what they're saying, you don't. You're not psychic. I hate to say it, but nobody is. And so you need to take time to make sure that you fully understand what other people are looking for so that you can give it to them. And that's really what it comes down to. There's an old saying, the golden rule, treat others as you'd love to be treated. And then there's the platinum rule. And I don't know who came up with this, but it's treat others the way they want to be treated. And the reality is that people want to be heard. They want to know that their voice matters. And they want to know that when they say something, it's going to have an impact. And if you listen to people and really take the time to understand what it is that they need before throwing your solutions at them, there is no one-size-fits-all. There is no one-size-fits-all solution. So, no matter how vast your offerings are, sure, you probably have a solution for them. But you're not going to know that until you take the time to understand exactly what it is that they're looking for. And the only way you're going to find out is if you shut up and listen. And I'm not always good at that. I'm not always great at that. I sometimes have to be reminded that I need to slow down and listen because, I get diarrhea face and just start spewing out everything that I know about a certain topic. And it's because I get so excited to share a solution and inspire people. And I've found that a lot of my clients and colleagues and even teammates in college absolutely love that energy that I bring because it's kind of rare. And I've been asked where I get that energy. And I get inspired to help people, That's one of the reasons that I enjoy training people is I like seeing them become successful. And I like knowing that they're learning new skills and that it's not just skills that are helping them in their current role, but, excuse me, I just turned my car off, so that's what that beeping was. But it's skills that will help them going forward in helping them with their professional aspirations, in helping them with basically everything that they're working on now or going to be working on, maybe not everything, but things that help them get better at what they do or, look at things in a new way or inspire them to learn new tricks and new things and new items. I mean, it's all about growth. And so I want you to take some time today. Here's your mission. Here's your homework, if you will. I want you to take some time today and listen to somebody in your life. It can be a friend. It can be one of your kids. It can be your spouse. It can be your significant other. It can be a client, whatever. It can be your boss. Just slow down and listen and ask questions with genuine intent and caring for the answers. Get to know somebody else's motivation and figure out ways that you can help them achieve their goals. I have a friend, his name is Trevor Ray. He does Trevor Ray Training, RAE, and he's a virtual trainer. And one of the reasons he's insanely successful and insanely overbooked in what he does is because he takes the time to get to know his customers' individual goals, and his clients' individual goals, and he doesn't push his methods on other people. He just says, let's do what's best for you. And he's available 24/7. You can call him. So he's at your convenience. He serves at the pleasure of his clients. And I think that's inspiring. So I guess that's what it all comes down to, folks, is, you'll never be a master at anything if you're honest with yourself. And if you think that you're a master at something, then you need to move on to something else, and you need to keep learning, and you need to be inspired to continue to grow, because everything changes. It's the only constant in life. So take time to slow down and listen. Acknowledge how you can help other people. And I guarantee you, your relationships across the board will be 10,000 times better for it. Thank you for listening to The Deep Gripping Reality. And until next time, dig deep, my friends. And that's all there is for today's episode of the Deep Gripping Reality Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a lot out of it. And if you did, why not share it? Talk to your friends. Check us out on social media platforms everywhere at TDGR Podcast. Until next time, dig deep, my friends.